there's like a wipe rule in place.
Hi. No worries. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played it since it came out. I bought the DLC. It is good. Casey's response to everything is ambush them.
Set up an ambush.
Seems like a good strategy.
Yeah.
You lived, didn't you?
Barely!
Then it's not disproven.
Hmm.
Got a point. Do he not got a point? He do got a point.
So much cat hair on my computer. I didn't want to roleplay Ollie this much. My
He's
cat
so
was
ready
trying
for
to
this.
get prepared.
I'm really done with this and I'll switch over. I've got like 2 turns, I think.
He's working.
I thought he said he wasn't coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
He confirmed that he won't be there. At some point, I'm gonna have to take a quick break to feed myself, but
What? Unacceptable.
yeah, I know, crazy. Just the worst. I started slow cooking something at like 5. So yeah. Yeah. Oopsie poopsie.
Oopsie poopsie.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 4. 15. Mm-hmm. Oh no!
What?
First slow cook.
Oh, shots fired.
Oh, good. I mean, that would be a really insulting book if it was true.
Yeah, I mean, they have books that say exactly that, and yet that, yeah. I don't know.
Are we at 3-7 for Destiny?
Probably. It's where we live.
Okay.
It's like our address.
I know I haven't played for 2 games and I left off at 3-7, so I guess that
Oh no,
is where
we
we
could have picked some up, but for some reason we burned. I don't remember if we burned some last session or if we just had already burned it.
There was no combat last session, was there?
No.
Why is your Twitch channel not popping up?
Because Twitch sucks.
It says the content is unavailable. Oh, I was doing NS Corey. Oh, you changed it. So just Nicholas Corey.
10 bum.
Okay.
I thought you did that already. I got a notification.
Well, like actually turn on the screen. There we go.
Nah. What do we need that for?
All right. And this is everyone short Dan, who'll be coming in late. Scott said he'll probably listen in, and Josh is out as well. Okay. So last session we finished up we wrapped up the loose ends of Zerzura Station, more or less, and did some close quarters stuff as you guys returned to Lareth and Spectre Station, turned in the job, had kind of a tense little meeting with the Council Security Forces.
Went fine.
Yeah. Had to turn in your data pads, but luckily Oppenheimer was able to go through and ensure that there wasn't anything that you didn't want the CSF to find on there. And then I think we ended with downtime on the station. Or we did that at some point, right? I remember you guys purchasing
we did that.
stuff. Okay.
I bought a whip.
That's right. That's right. How could I forget? So we pick up with you guys still at Spectre Station. And is there anything you guys wanted to do while you were here? I know that's such a riveting way to start a session, but I want to make sure that we get that in case there is, in case any of you have ambitions.
I'll do my mind rolls.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
12, 13, 10. Nice.
Did we have a rest on the...
Yeah, you guys should rest, so you should recharge all your resources and vitality and all that.
So what happens with stress on a rest?
It goes down by 2 for an at-rest scene.
Okay.
And you can reduce it by 1 more if you tie it back to your bond somehow. If you narrate a little scene or describe to me how Kevin is connecting with his bond in some way.
Yeah, I'm gonna set the no, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set the psychic space Nazis on someone. But,
well, it doesn't have to be actually like if you have
what?
loyalty. It doesn't have to be you like contacting them. It can just be you basically Kevin in some way reminding the audience, quote unquote, of what his bond is. You know what I mean? So it can be like him going through documents or communique or anything like that. I know he's undercover, so that might not be,
yeah.
easy to do. But you know what I mean? Like just something in that, something that at least ties him to your bond in some way.
Sure.
What's his cover?
What
are we not supposed to think he is?
I'm not a psychic space Nazi.
Interesting.
You're fooling everybody, I'll tell you right now, Dan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if we don't have anything, then Buffy, you would notice because I'm sure you are checking the GCC boards for contracts that have been pushed to the Guilty Echo, and you aren't seeing anything. In fact, you're seeing kind of a red
Blackballed.
You're seeing a message basically saying that the Guilty Echo has lost the privilege of using the GCC job board.
What?
What?
And,
Wasn't me.
Is that elaborated?
I can imagine Buffy like leaning over, Laurie leaning over Buffy's shoulder, going, "You're typing the password. Why does it say access denied?"
And then shortly thereafter, you get a message from Director Viss, the Pelorian director of GCC operations on the station, requesting to meet with you.
Oh, good.
No.
At GCC headquarters?
He's fine. Like basically he'll come to the ship because you're still docked at his station. So he'll come to the ship if that works for you.
Good.
Or if
Sure.
you'd rather get out. Okay. So Director Viss arrives. Green scaled Pelorian, dressed pretty nice. A little bit of a potbelly. And he sees Buffy, and he's the one who kind of acted as your liaison between the Guilty Echo and the Council security forces for the mission to Zerzura.
Mhm.
And he's like, Captain Mahalo Faraday, unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news, which I don't doubt that you've noticed by now, but the mission regarding the Zerzura Station has been brought under investigation by Primacore. And in order to maintain decent relationships with Primacore, the GCC has temporarily suspended the Guilty Echo's contract with the GCC.
All right. Any
What
reason?
investigation into what?
Director Viss is like, he's like, frankly, the Primacore corporation believes, or at least some important people at Primacore believe that there might have been that maybe the situation the situation involving the Zerzura didn't go exactly as your reports claimed. That there wasn't a faulty wiring in the breaching drives, and that instead it was sabotaged. He's like, and he puts his hands up. He's like, I know. He's like, I just want to say that for what it's worth, I believe everything that happened according to your reports. I trust your work out there. He's like, but unfortunately, it's not my decision to make.
Sure.
He's like, so for the time being, unfortunately, that means that you won't have access to GCC resources, GCC connections or support or information. He's like, for better or worse, the Guilty Echo is entirely independent until this investigation gets resolved.
Mm-hmm. Out of character, don't they own the ship? Like, I don't think we own it collectively.
Are we like renting it?
I assumed that you were transferred ownership of the ship after the original captain died.
I didn't think he owned the ship, though.
Okay. If you're renting it from GCC, that presents a very interesting wrinkle.
No. Casey, why?
He's about to steal a ship.
Yeah, right.
I'm just trying to clarify.
Right.
Like,
I'm gonna say that the original
because if
captain
they
owned
own
it.
it, then
Right. Otherwise, you guys would just be hanging out at the station.
then we're shit canned here. Yeah.
Right. No, I'm gonna say that the original captain owned it, and that ownership was transferred to Buffy when he died.
Okay.
Because that was what I was assuming going into this. So. So yeah. So that's what he's like. You, as far as he's like, for better or worse, you guys are entirely independent. He's like, but know that he's like, I would just monitor your actions from here on out, because when it comes time to potentially reopen this contract with the GCC, he's like, you probably want to have a good track record too.
What are they investigating?
He's like, the nature of
No. But where are they going to check the wiring on the space station that exploded?
He's like, I don't know what Primacore plans to do or what their expectations are or how they plan to resolve this. He's like, all I know is that they want to look into the matter further.
Huh.
Okay. Well, let me show you the door of my ship then. It's right over there.
He's like, of course. He's like, if you do have any questions, he's like, feel free to come to me, but know that unfortunately I can't provide any official assistance.
And unofficially?
Unofficially, I would like to see you guys continue to run jobs in this area of space. You've proven that you're reliable and you're discreet when necessary, and he's like, I know that. I'm sure that you and your crew rely on this.
Aw, he likes us.
So he's like, I will do what I can to to find jobs for you. It would just have to be off hours, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks.
And he'll just nod and then turn around and leave the Guilty Echo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a wrinkle.
I like to think that like everyone's kind of down, everyone's like upset for a second, and then Alaria's just like, "We're free."
So
That means we
pirate.
get to do whatever we
Pirate
want,
time?
right?
No, pirate. What are you talking about, pirate?
You gotta have something to do.
What's
I mean,
Primacore's
everyone
biggest
wants to be a
rival
pirate.
in your sector?
Primacore's biggest rival in this sector?
Go work for them.
That's a good question. Let me look that up real quick. Loyalty. Oh, of course I don't have it on Roll20. I have to check the PDF. For the first time in a long time, I have to reference the PDF.
Good evening, all. Hope everyone is well.
Hey, Dan.
Oh no.
Oh,
Is
You're
everybody
fired.
Is everybody healthy?
You're fired, Dan.
Oh,
We are
Immediately
all
fired.
too, but
You especially.
yeah.
that's unfortunate.
It's going to be a quick session.
Yeah, I would have been here earlier, but as I was leaving my daughter's bedroom, she asked why people have chins.
What I mean, what did you say?
I was like, well, I guess it keeps your mouth from falling off your head. I didn't know what to say.
What? It didn't make sense.
That's so good. So Primacores, they have a couple of major competitors in this region of space for breaching drives and stuff like that. Those would be Alphama Corporation and Blue Horizon.
Well,
Blue
that's
Horizon-
not suspect at all.
Blue Horizon more for the super space breaching drives and interstellar travel, and Alphama more for the scientific research part of it. Because Primacore is kind of like Wayland Yutani in that they kind of do everything. So, not
Who's
to.
more into AI?
That would be more in Alphama's division.
Okay.
So, are we looking for a new employer?
We were thinking of just sticking it to Primacore, I think.
That's what I'm.
The Centurion AI.
Yeah. Have we reconstructed the parts of
Is
Centurion?
that is that proprietary Primacore?
That didn't belong to Primacore. That was that was taken over by the other one. That was originally like the station AI.
Mm-hmm.
The station was owned by them, wasn't it? Or was
Yeah,
it
when
GCC?
Primacore acquired the station, they acquired Zerzura, and so then thus they would have acquired Centurion. But Centurion is based off of, let me see who owned the station before Primacore bought it. Galactech was the original owners, so it's based off of their original design. Like, Primacore didn't make any changes to Centurion that you know of. They just acquired the station, and Centurion came along with it.
So, I mean, have we learned anything from the part of Centurion that we recovered?
As far as learn anything. Pretty much everything that you can find out from Centurion's files that you have are all in regards to. Originally, it's in regards to Zerzura Station's original role, in that it was a refueling and resupply station for the Outer Rim, and it was put out there to encourage exploration to the deeper reaches of Council space, and then it kind of just existed, didn't really ever become super successful because nobody ever went out to that corner of space. And so it just kind of floated there. And then eventually Galactech got acquired by Primacore. They repurposed the station for super space research, like we talked about. And then from there, what you can learn about Centurion is that it actually, after the people on Zerzura found the shell and brought that on board, Centurion, that was when Centurion and Obelisk started to butt heads a little bit. And it seems like Centurion was acting with the best interests of the people on board the station, whereas Obelisk was acting with the interests of Primacore's research division.
Shocker.
Right. And then once things started to get really serious and it became obvious that Obelisk was directly endangering the lives of the people on the station, that was when Centurion, for lack of a better term, confronted Obelisk, and Obelisk just tore Centurion apart.
Mm-hmm.
If there was other information that you were looking for other than that kind of stuff, then I would have to know what that is to tell you if it's there or not.
Yeah. So I guess like the super space trajectory, like do we know where they entered super space, or like when the egg showed up, that sort of thing? The shell, rather.
You don't know when, like where or when they found you know when they found the shell. That was about 18 months ago, I think, or 18 months prior to when everything went bad. But as far as where, let's see, they were about here, I believe, when you encountered them. So they would have found, or they would have originally breached into superspace, probably closer to Alnax. So down here by Fora and Alnax.
Union. Okay. So the problem with sending any research to a competitor is that they could just turn around and then start cooperating with them, which would not be an ideal outcome.
Right.
Also, regarding the shell
incident.
I was going to say, regarding the shell and like the glare and everything like that, you don't find a lot on Centurion. It just refers to like when the unknown object was brought on board. It doesn't have any of the details or any of the thing like how it interacted with the various organisms that came out of the shell. Like none of that's on there. All it knows is that an unknown object was recovered from superspace. That unknown object proved to be harmful to the residents of the station, and then Centurion was met with a resistance when it tried to correct for that.
Lame.
Well, what's the career thing? What do you guys feel like doing?
Well, we either find someone else to work for, we go pirate, we transfer.
No pirate. Those are you pirates.
I'm just throwing it out there. We're just spitballing here.
Stop spitting.
And it's like we could do this. We could go pirate. We could do this other thing. We could go be
You go
pirate.
pirate.
Yeah, do this other thing. We could go be pirates.
Stop spitballing. It's bad enough that you're shedding on everything.
Or,
Yeah,
or
I'm
we
just
could
listing
just stay
stuff.
here.
Pirates.
and We could just drink at a bar until the investigation was over, which might be for like 5 months, and we'll run out of drinking money. So.
Oh my god, we finally have the ability to go wherever we want, and you just want to work more? Let's go on an adventure!
It's very rare that you get paid on an adventure.
We got money. I got money.
Have you?
I mean, I definitely spent a lot of it, but like I still have some.
We refueled everything, right? What's the ship's like?
Yeah, we're all
fuel
topped
and
up,
stuff at?
so-
Alright, okay, so we've got full everything.
When we picked up the shuttle, we finished everything up. And everyone should have some extra credits for the people that weren't here. I don't remember how much. What did we get, like 5 apiece?
Yeah, 5 each. Yeah, it's at the end.
I guess my biggest worry is if this investigation goes sideways and they try to lock down our ship or somewhere. So I feel like we need to be away.
I don't think we should
somewhere.
stay here.
So then let's get a multiple choice here.
So you guys do know from past experience, at least, that there are always independent jobs available. Like you were able to pick up jobs going to and from, like transport jobs that happen to go in addition to the contracts that you were working at the time from GCC to like pick up a little extra cash here and there. So you know that like there's always that you can fall back on if you're worried about like income. It's pretty easy to find stuff like that, especially in this area of space. So not that I'm trying to direct you, but just to remind you.
You turned robot there for me for...
I'm sorry, not that I'm trying to direct you guys on what to do or where to go, but just that I want to make sure that you remember that, because it's been a little while since we've done
There's always a dude in the bar who needs something done. Is that what you're
essentially,
saying?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let's go look for the guy with the exclamation mark.
Does Alphama have a facility on Lareth?
Does it have a gold shire?
Alphama does not have a facility on Spectre Station. Blue
They
Horizon.
don't have any. Okay.
Yeah, Blue Horizon has
Right,
some,
does have that.
but they don't. They just rent like a little bit of office space. They don't have like an actual full facility like the GCC does.
Well, we are curious about how this investigation ends, right?
Not really.
Just steal the robot body back.
Let's go steal the robot body bag. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh, God.
I'm not joking.
I was surprised that Scott wasn't
That's the
more
record.
adamant about keeping it.
Yeah.
That's their record of this.
That's true.
And why do we want it?
We just don't want them to have it.
Oh,
If it's slag, then, investigation over. And if we can paint it so that it's, some
Do
dust.
we know where the excavation is happening? Has Prima Tech got a Prima Core, whatever it is, got a big like? Is this where it's happening?
You don't like their headquarters is in the core of the galaxy. So when this news got back to them of everything that happened,
How long is this since, we,
I'd say you've probably been on
how long
Spectre.
has it been since
I
our debriefing?
expected you to be on Spectre Station for about a day at this point.
okay.
So
Well,
it's probably
Cap-
been transported on a ship, so we could go to that ship.
You want to be a
board it,
pirate?
Take the cargo, and bring it back to our ship.
No, pirate.
It's either we look out for ourselves, trust that someone else is going to, and I'm not convinced that they're going to.
No. So what's the plan then?
No, so no one's going to look out for us? Well,
Yeah,
then we got
that
to go
one.
track down the wreck.
I thought we sufficiently lied to everybody we needed to last time.
No.
Oh.
Oh, so clearly it wasn't that great.
Yeah. It was like a day before they started the investigation. Clearly, he held his tracks well.
All right. Well, I'm just happy to not be an enslaved mechanic, so I'll go wherever.
That's the spirit.
Do we have do we have any idea where Bryn is? Brill, right?
There are still a couple of council ships that are docked at Spectre Station. So you would assume that she'd probably be either with those, or if she's still on the station, then she might be in any one of a number of different like governmental or regulation buildings. But yeah, there are still 2 different council ships docked at Spectre Station.
What are you thinking, Cap?
There's no way we're gonna bust onto a ship and like slag or liberate that. What's
You don't know that.
Not with that
You
attitude.
can say that, tell us something that's not going to happen with certainty. I guess,
If only we had fearless, stealthy, cat-like people to go and do something like that.
do those exist?
Shush, you.
So
what's Lareth? What's the story with Lareth also?
Who shushed me? Was that Mario?
I'll shoot you if I want to.
Lareth is the homeworld of the Sebekians. It is a tidally locked planet, so the only habitable areas on the planet are in that kind of that borderland between the night and day sides of Lareth. So most of its interstellar commerce and trading happens on Spectre Station, as well as a couple of other orbital space stations. On the planet itself, there's a lot of, they specialize in like robotics manufacturing, because it is from Lareth where the IREs first gained sentience. The first sentient robots came from Lareth. As well as the prime AI that a lot of those sentient robots, they don't worship, but they revere, that came from Lareth as well. So.
The IRE still have a presence, like a faction presence on the planet?
They're more, it's more, they're, how do I put this? It's not that they're more welcome on Lareth, but the Sebekians are the most open to treating IREs as citizens, and kind of considering them as galactic citizens more so than any other race. Otherwise, it kind of comes and goes. It's like it changes by the individual, but the Sebekians as a whole are the ones that are really like, yeah, I mean, they're people too, and they totally stopped manufacturing artificial intelligence and all that after sentience was gained because they didn't want to, upset the balance or anything like that. So so I would say of all the planets, Lareth would have the highest population of IREs.
What you thinking?
Yeah, what are you thinking, Cap?
Well, the longer we wait, potentially the further away, that record gets. Not that,
We don't know that that's off planet yet, do we?
We have no idea. We'd have to
How hard would it be to figure that out?
but we'd have to get access to like the just the transit logs or whatever.
Isn't that what
station.
Keevan's arm is for?
Keevan's arm has a name,
Yeah, it's Lefty.
Sorry, isn't that what Oppenheimer's for?
There you
Yeah,
go.
but he's not here.
Yeah.
He's
We don't know what he's doing.
Is he rebooting or whatever?
Yeah. There's been a Oppenheimer update.
An update, if you will.
And oh my god! get
yeah!
out. Fucking hell.
Laria, that was fantastic.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, I feel like if that's something you want to do, Captain, we should verify where the thing is before we then plan about stealing it. So, or going pirating.
We're not going a pirating.
I believe that's exactly what we're doing.
You can call it what you want, Keevan.
What if we said Buccaneer? Is that better?
No.
Privateers, but without a letter
Privateer.
of mark.
Yeah. Or Liberators.
I'm gonna go see. Yeah, I'd like to see if I can charm my way to get the transit logs. Talk to, since they seem to be content to just leave us alone at least while the investigation goes on. Abroad. We might as well find out how far we might have to go.
Will you need me for that, Captain?
Okay, so you want to find
Anyone
the
that wants.
the transit logs on those council ships. So you want to see, or on any council
Well, I
ship.
mean, it was handed over to Primacore stuff, right? We know the two council ships are just here, so I'm looking for Primacore registry.
Oh, got you. Okay, all right. Yeah, you'll have to go to the harbor master for that sort of stuff. But yeah, we can definitely do that. Who is going with, or who is doing other things?
Does my being a coder help in whatever
Probably.
you're doing, Casey? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
I have a feeling that delicate diplomacy is not something that I should help with.
You no.
So I will.
I don't know why you'd say that about yourself.
I actually have decent spirit, but I will. What will I do? I don't know. Cap, while you're doing that, do you want me to check around, see if there's any jobs that we could take, just in case?
Sure.
All right, then I will do that.
Okay.
I will go
Kevin?
rumor gathering.
I'm gonna try and contact the police force that I'm from and try and figure out if they've heard anything about the, because they're in with the GCC, if they've heard anything about the investigation
Okay.
or where the stuff is.
Okay. And Ollie.
How's the ship, Ollie?
I am gonna be basically guard duty for the ship because I'm super paranoid. Someone's gonna try to take it away or lock it down, and I'm also gonna see if I can bribe the equivalent of like the harbor master to basically give me a heads up if he receives any orders to like lock us down.
Okay. All right. So.
And the party went in 5 directions.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So. Alaria, if you want to give me a spirit test right now, and we'll come back to that.
Sure.
Just to see what you can find while you're out job
Should
hunting.
Is this a what's our destiny at?
3 and 7.
3 and 7, yeah.
3 and 7? Yeah, I won't use that. Okay. Spirit test.
Do it.
And then while we're getting that test, okay, Buffy and Izzy, so you guys go to visit the Harbor
God.
Master's office.
What happened?
You rolled a 1.
Shut up.
So Buffy and Izzy, you two go to visit the Harbor Master's office.
Shut up, you rolled a 1.
And yeah, it's a pretty simple office, and there's a couple of not receptionists, but like people at terminals right away in the office without actually having to meet with the harbor master. And you can see that behind them they have a big board that is digitally showing like all the incoming and outgoing and that sort of thing. And so when you approach the guy behind the terminal is like, "Hi." He's like, "What can I help you with today?"
My friend left. She had a contract with Primacore, and I'm just trying to, find out where she may have been heading because, she left some of her stuff on our ship, and it's like a whole thing. No forwarding address or whatever. So, just gotta track her down.
And he nods and he goes, "Okay, name or datapad contact number?"
I guess I'll give Addison.
Okay.
That is,
Addison Wakefield. Okay. All right. So he's tapping away at his console, and he's like, yeah, okay. It looks like. Oh, I'm sorry, but it looks like whatever ship your friend went on is one that we are not allowed to give out information regarding the transit of. He's like, if you know maybe of a place that the two of you would meet, we can always transfer stuff. Or if you want us to hold stuff for when he gets back to the station, we can hold it here.
I mean, if I wanted to mail it, I would have gone to the post office, right?
That's fair.
Izzy laughs behind her hand, then starts coughing. Like a fake sneeze fit. All right.
So, Coder, did you... what was your plan, as an aside?
Plan. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Dave on that one. Plan. I just asked if you thought you'd need a coder for breaking into some computer stuff. I have yet to use my second self. This is exciting. So.
Well, I mean, do you think
I just see
witnessing
Oppenheimer
this,
do
you
cool
might
things with
be
computers.
prompted to do anything?
I'm looking at all the things that I can do here. So, is there? So I haven't had to worry much, and I kind of tune out a little bit when Oppenheimer talks about how like computers work.
Okay. What's your question?
Really into it.
In this world.
Mhm.
Like, isn't there like a way, some kind of system or over like webby thing that I can tap into?
Yeah, you can jack into the Spectre Station's network and try and get past any security firewalls that
Okay.
the Harbor Master may have in
God.
place, if that's what you
Ollie,
want
get
to do.
ready to leave.
Yeah, you got your gun, hand on your gun, right, Casey? So
Yeah.
why don't I try
Always.
to? So what did they say exactly when we checked for
You're not
Addison
allowed to
Wakefield?
disclose where.
Where he is.
Yeah.
Well,
All
the
right.
ship that he took.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to figure out how to. I'm gonna type in Addison Wakefield into
Google?
Google. Yeah. No, I'm gonna jack in and I'm gonna try to like
Okay, Google.
get into this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So getting onto the station's network is easy because it's a public network. So it's getting into the Harbor Master's secure files that will be difficult. So I'm going to need a mind test
Yeah,
from
this could be
you.
a disaster, everybody.
And if you have expertise with cyberspace, you will roll a third die.
Right.
But if you do not, then you roll 2 dice. You can
I'm trying
always you can always spend
Right.
oh no, you don't have. You're a engineer or a mechanic primary, so you can't.
Right.
But you can spend heroism to roll an additional die if you would like,
Okay.
and you
I
can
think this would be a good time to be heroic.
sure, and you can always
Looking at all my traits and stuff, and the only one I have that's coder related is decoy.
oh
that-
sure.
Would that matter here?
Well, that's a destiny ability, so that requires spending
Okay.
one of your 3 destiny, and that would be what we did with Oppenheimer, where he created copies
right.
of himself. So
Okay.
probably not useful here.
Right. Well, I'm going to use one of my my heroism.
Okay, so 3 dice.
Okay. And would that be a supported roll then?
No, because you're rolling
just-
3 and keeping 2.
Okay, I like that.
Nice. Okay.
That's that was just 2 dice.
That was, yeah. So you get onto
right.
Izzy. You're able to use your coding rig, kind of like standing behind Buffy, so that you're not in direct eyesight of this individual behind the terminal. Because unlike Oppenheimer, you actually have to take out a device and monkey
Right.
with it. But you're able to get onto the Harbor Master's files and get into their secure network. And you, Buffy, as you can hear Izzy behind you, like tapping away at her coding rig, you see the attendant behind his terminal. He like suddenly looks at his screen and he's like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" And he starts tapping keys and he's like, "What? How? Why is this? Wait, no, that's not supposed to be." He's like, "Hang on, I'm sorry." He's like, "Can you excuse me for a moment? I think I have a malfunctioning terminal."
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he turns around to
Do
leave.
you need me to do anything?
He's like, "No, just stay there, and I'll have it resolved momentarily. Don't worry." And he turns around.
So
to
is this
leave.
like a like the check-in for like a flight or something? He's
Essentially,
just
yeah.
gone to death. Yeah. Okay.
So he'll turn around and leave into another room behind the counter. And Izzy, the information that you are able to find is that Addison left on a ship called... Let me pull up that name here. Boo, 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 boo. Where is it? A ship called the Onyx Signature. It is a Primacore ship, surprising nobody. And they left pretty much as soon as your meeting with Council Security Forces was complete. And they are heading to Idris.
There you go, Captain.
Yeah.
And we think it's with him.
Do we have the full them? I guess. Do we have other destinations, or is that the only Primacore ship departure?
That's the only Primacore ship departure is since you guys got back. Well, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
That's the only one. That's the only Primacore departure within the last 72 hours. And Addison is confirmed on that one. And what did you roll? A 16? That's pretty high. The mobile platform that Obelisk was on is also confirmed on that ship. And there's no other stops between Lareth and Idris. So I will let you guys chew on that, and I will jump to Alaria. So Alaria,
Cool.
where are you going to look for jobs? You just go into... Go ahead.
Sorry.
Is Nick roboting super hard for other people?
Yeah, your voice is roboting really hard.
I'm sorry. Let me see if I can turn... Okay, how do I sound now?
Better? But it's
Better?
been cutting in and out.
Is it?
So
Damn.
we'll see. Yeah.
Alright.
Well, it's not
You'll
this
find
very
out.
second, but
Okay. Okay, so Alaria, where do you want to go to look for jobs?
I was just gonna gather rumors. So
Okay.
I guess the local watering hole drift.
Okay. And you rolled a 10.
Yes.
All right. Trying to gather rumors. You're not able to find too much as far as rumors go. But every bar, at least every bar that's near the spaceport section of Spectre Station, is all connected to kind of like an independent contract board where people can post jobs and all that. So you see that there's a number of jobs.
Check that out. Yeah.
Okay. The three that would be they're okay. So they get posted and claimed pretty quickly. But the three that you notice are one that's going to Tangrel 3, delivering starship parts. One that's going to Dammer 5, delivering solar panel assemblies. And one that's going to Zemer, delivering stasis livestock. And those were listed in order, in ascending order of price. So the first one is going to net you 12,000 credits. The one to Dammer 5 is 16,000, and the one to Zemer is 20,000.
I'll
Do it.
snap a. Well, when you say posted, do you mean physically posted, or is it?
No, it's digital. It's all,
digital?
yeah. They're probably, the people who are posting these are probably doing so from their offices or from wherever they conduct business.
Okay, so I'll screen cap it and send it to everyone on the ship.
Okay. All right.
With a message hey y'all, if you want to be delivery people, here's your dream come true.
Anything else that you want to do while you're at the bar?
Get my drink on.
Nice. All right. Okay.
I helped.
My job's done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Kevin, let's do your call.
Okay.
Are you using the long comms on the Guilty Echo, or are you using public long comms on Spectre Station?
Yeah, long comms on the Guilty Echo.
Okay. All right, so you get into contact with... You probably have one officer that you get into contact with all the time.
Sure, I don't have a name for him though.
I'll get it. His name is not Addison. That's been used already.
Everyone's called Addison.
Yeah.
Addison.
It was a popular name that year.
Addison Takefield. No. Lucas Ashton. So he answers the call and he's like, Kevin. He's like, I hope that you have something to report. How are things going out there?
Not great.
Not what I wanted to hear.
That's not what I wanted to hear either. So apparently the ship that I'm on is under investigation by Prima Corps over the outcome of our last job. Have we heard anything about when that is happening or where?
He's like, I haven't heard anything specifically, but if you want to give me some time, I can dig into it and see if I can find anything.
Yeah. Also, is there any off-book jobs that need doing in this area?
Okay, and I just want to clear something up. You're talking with a ranking officer of the Calusian force, right? Like he's specific to your planet? Okay.
Yep.
He's like, off-book jobs...
I'm going to check in as well when we sent that all that tech that was on, all that power armor tech. Who did we just lose? Casey? Oh no, he's back.
So he's like, unfortunately, he's like off-book jobs. He's like that sort of thing. He's like, the only thing that I really have for that sector of space is, there are reports of some sort of altercation regarding one of the ships that was.
You told me about the station that blew up, so help me.
He's like, no, it's not involving a station, not at least as far as I can tell. He's like, when you sent the information regarding what you learned some months ago, he's like, we were trying to do our best to track the ship, the Emerald Tension, which you had identified as a slaving ship. He's like, and we weren't able to, he's like, by the time we found it, it was after it suffered some sort of altercation amongst its crew. And according to our intel, it lost some of its cargo. And that would have been around your sector of space. It actually would have been closer to Zemer. It looks like the Emerald Tension was planning to or about to do a job with a Zemurian prison ship when their cargo found its way out.
Is this cargo in quotation marks, like people?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Where is Zima from here? Because that's on. Oh, there it is. It's the orange one.
Yep.
That's on Alara's job list, right?
Yes. And
How long ago was this?
He's like, that would have been. He checks his information. He's like, a few weeks ago at this point.
Can you get an update and see if you've got any more recent?
He's like, yeah.
And
He's
then
like,
maybe I can convince the crew to go check it out.
He's like, I haven't gotten an update recently, but I can definitely check with our agents and see if they've learned anything since the last.
Is there a bounty on the ship?
He's like, there's no posted bounty yet, only because we don't have hard evidence that actually links them with that. All we have is the rumors that you sent to us, and then our agents are still working on actually nailing them with this.
Okay. Yeah, so if you can just give me an update as if you've got anything more recent than the last couple of weeks, and
Certainly.
then maybe we'll get them to look into it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, yep. He's like, we'll be in contact. I'll let you know as soon as I learn anything.
Sweet.
All right. Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, you wanted to get a heads up from Harbor Master regarding any potential lockdown?
I'm gonna modify it a bit because I didn't realize I was trying to talk to the same people that
Sure.
Casey was talking to. I'm gonna change it to like. I don't know if there's necessarily any security around the ship, but any kind of staff, employees of the port, and to try to talk to them and do a bribe to get a heads up if something comes down the line, basically.
Okay. Well, there are dock workers who are bottom of the ladder, lowest paid, general workforce. And then step up from them, there would be station security that you could talk to as well. And those would be the two that you'd have easy access to from your ship. It'd be pretty easy to find a security officer or a dock worker. So,
okay, yeah, I'll find one of the security.
Okay.
Whichever of the two looks more receptive
Sure.
to my advances.
Okay. Why don't you roll me a spirit test and we'll see how
Sure.
that roll does.
check out spirit. This is the test to persuade, or is this the test to see which one is?
This is persuade.
more receptive?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna spend a heroism on this, because this could go badly if I fail. Okay.
Why have I heard that before?
You rolling with 12, or do you want to spend a destiny to turn it to a 22?
Wow, you're the devil.
I'm gonna roll with 12.
Okay. So this security guard is an Ardaxian, humanoid, purple skin, white hair, cut really close to the scalp, buzz cut. He's got a sidearm, and he's wearing some basic body armor that has the colors of Spectre Station on it, the blue and purple. And he looks bored, or annoyed. Well, not so much. Yeah, he looks bored. So 12 is a decent roll, but it's not great. So talk to
Sure.
me about Ollie's approach.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off just like noticing that he's bored. I'm just gonna try to shoot the shit with him a little bit.
Mhm.
So hey there.
He looks down at Ollie. He's like, "Oh, hi."
Busy time at the station, huh?
And he kind of looks around and at all the ships. He's like, yeah, I guess so." He's like, "Do you need to report something?"
Well, no, not necessarily report anything. More so as I was hoping you could report things to me. It just, there's lots of crazy things going on in the galaxy right now, and that you see that ship over there? It's a nice one, huh? That ship is kind of my baby. I'm the pilot of the ship. I'm sure you talked to a lot of pilots. You know how pilots are.
I like how pirate rolls off your tongue.
You know how pirates are. You know how pirates
Real fucking subtle, Ian.
Yeah, and I was just wondering if you could do me a little bit of a favor. It looks like maybe you could do with a bit more excitement around here. If you hear anything come down the pipe about my ship over there, the Guilty Echo, if you could let me know first, just because so I can get a jump on things and protect my ship, that kind of thing. And I'll just give him a little eyebrow raise, a suggestive eyebrow raise.
And he kind of when you point back to the ship, he's kind of like, "Oh, okay." And then you're like, "Yeah, it's a nice one, isn't it?" He kind of chuckles a little bit. So when you get to that point, he's like, "You know what?" He's like, "Fine." He's like, "Are you going to be on the ship?" He's like, "If I hear something, I can just send a message to you."
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the ship the whole time, and then once I see he's receptive, I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, here's a nice something for your troubles," and just, I don't know what the equivalent of slipping like dollar bills is in this world.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yep, I got you. You could easily. Oh no! Apparently we lost Matt, so we'll get back to him when he gets back to us. But okay, so yeah, you could like, credits are all digital, but you could easily slip him a credit chit that maybe has like 50 on it or something like that. So.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that.
And that won't cost you any wealth at all. So he kind of like, you hand it to him, and he looks down at it, and then he looks at you, and he looks like he's about to go like, "Are you really?" But then he's just like, you see like a little half shrug, and he just takes it and puts it in his pocket. He's like, "All right." He's like, "If I hear anything, you'll hear something."
Nice. I give him the finger guns and head back to the ship.
Okay, Ollie, when you get back to the ship, why don't you roll me a mind test, please? And this is a perception-based mind test. So I believe, being a Minix, you get a bonus to that. I'm not sure if that's a modifier or a die, but that would be on your heightened senses trait.
Yeah, let me see. Mind test. Heightened senses. Well, it says mind test made to track or detect other creatures.
Yep. So go ahead and roll another die.
Okay. Okay, additional.
Oh, shit.
So, 3-die mind test. Okay. 12 again. Seems to be my number.
That's your number. Yep. Yeah, you can tell that as soon as you step on the deck of your ship, you can tell that someone else has very recently, like since you walked off to talk to the security officer, someone not of your crew has been on the ship.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out my sidearm, whatever that blaster was that I got from.
I think it's a judge.
Yeah, the judge, and I'm also gonna send a message to my crewmates saying we have company on the ship.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna try to track the person down, basically.
All right. I'm going to move us to the ship map.
Is it another stowaway?
Okay. So, going through so you're on the main deck of the ship, and you can basically go back, like aft to where the sit rep room is, and or the briefing room and the captain's cabin and all that, or you can go below decks. But as you're kind of moving through, looking, you rolled a 12 on that, so that's fine. As you're moving through, you hear this heavy clatter of like metal parts and machinery from down. It would be on the gun deck.
What?
Okay.
I'm on the ship, right? So do we get the message from Ollie?
If you're doing long comms, Kevin, yeah, that's actually good. You would have been here.
Okay.
And you would have heard that as well. You probably didn't notice this person was on until you heard that. It would have been from just south of your position. And you also would have gotten that message from Ollie, too, just slightly before that.
Okay.
So, Ollie,
Okay,
if you're coming down the steps, you're probably about, like, right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna head in the direction of that noise.
Okay, Kevin? Anything from
Yeah,
you?
I'm gonna come out this way and go in here, try and cover this exit. I'm not gonna go all the way in the room. I just want to get like an eye on the gun deck and not leave, like, so I can still see this door on this side.
Okay. All right. So as soon as the door opens, Kevin, Ollie, you wouldn't be able to see it just because of the geography of the room and how the wall kind of juts out from that side. But Kevin, you see you see like a foot, like a leg, suddenly pull back on the south side of the port gun, like there's someone hiding behind it.
What sort of foot?
Human or humanoid,
God.
wearing a
I'll
boot.
Raise my pistol and comms Ollie to 3 o'clock. Come out. I'm not going to count again.
So when you say that, you hear this timid woman's voice. Don't shoot. Don't. I'll come out. And there's this sliding of metal parts as this bag, this like satchel, is pushed out, and you can see there's a metal arm hanging out of it.
What?
And this token's probably going to be huge, but let me drop her on here. Oh no, okay. And then this woman steps out with her hands up, dark hair, and she looks particularly weathered and worn. Her hair's a mess. Her clothes are dirty. It looks like she is like she's had a rough time recently. I'll put it that way.
So another stowaway.
Very recent this time.
Oh, comms. Alara, did you leave anything on the ship? Oh shit, he's not here! Fuck me!
Oh yeah. No response.
God damn it. What are you doing? What's down? What do I know of the ship? What's down there? What was she like crawling into a hatch, or why was she down by the gun?
It seemed like there wouldn't be anything really there. There'd be like a waste trench that runs along the wall of the ship, which would be where you would throw empty casings from the gun, like when it overheats and you have to replace the coolant, that sort of thing. But that's small. It's not large. There really isn't anything that she would be particularly like trying to do there. It seemed like that was just the hiding spot she chose when she realized someone was approaching.
There's nothing to sabotage there.
I mean, realistically,
like
she could get at the gun,
I mean,
but other than that, yeah.
So I'll ask again. What are you doing?
And she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I need passage off of here, and I don't have a lot of money.
Right. Why do you need passage?
She's like, there's people who are looking for me, and I'd prefer if they didn't find me. And I know it's a great spot, but I'm gonna step away. We're gonna go BRB for about 10 minutes, so you can think about your response, and Ollie, you can think about how you want to react, and we will be back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, and we're back.
So Nick,
Those rolls were
Yes.
just demonstrations. I wasn't actually firing
Yeah.
the weapon, or whatever.
Okay.
yeah, Buffy killed a few people while you were gone.
Oh,
We were,
alright.
we were XP
Never-
farming.
But we do have a question for you.
Yes.
So we came up with Casey came up with an elaborate plan and then asked if I had expertise in something, and I said, sure. And then I looked and I didn't.
Okay.
But he
It was
also
the kind of thing that I should have if I knew what I was, if I A, knew what I was doing,
had-
and B, had leveled up.
Mm.
Because, like, turning a level 6, I did not take a new expertise.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I currently, as a coder, do not have cyberspace as an expertise.
Do you have...
But I could afford it now if I leveled up.
Okay. Well, that's not going to change the previous scene, but yes,
Nope,
you
nope.
can pick it up. That's fine.
Okay, there's a thing we want to do with it now.
Okay. What do you? Well, okay. Let's finish this scene with. Actually,
Yep,
no.
yep.
We'll jump. We'll have a mini cliffhanger here with Kevin.
Of course you're
and
gonna
Ollie.
cut back, you boss.
But yeah. Buffy and Izzy.
Okay.
So you guys just got the information from the terminal, and then shortly thereafter, you get a message from Ilaria with those 3 jobs on it, and then shortly after that, you get a message from Ollie saying there's someone on the ship. So
Great.
what are you guys doing?
Can I see where the guy went?
Yeah, he went into
desk,
a door behind the desk. Yeah, so into another room.
Is it labeled?
Employees only.
Shitter.
I'll ping Ilaria and say, let's accept. We accept that Zemer job
Which one's the Zemer job again?
on the opposite end of the galaxy.
I mean, what are we shipping?
Livestock in
Frozen
stasis.
That seems like the least efficient way of transporting food I can imagine. But
Yeah, so
that job.
Alaria just like she's staring hard at the Dammer 5 job for like a good 30 seconds or so, and then she just
it's on the way. Whatever.
accepts the Zemer one.
Yeah. We can accept anything that makes sense. How about that?
No, she's more just staring at it like
Because she's feeling
I miss
homesick.
home.
I
Yeah,
understand. How, yes.
Yeah,
I understood that, yes.
it's like simultaneously I miss home and I don't want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Complicated.
So, It's kind of hard
Do
to
we still need to do this to my data pad, Casey?
Yeah. All right. So go ahead and we'll use the Destiny. You're gonna forge a dummy to make it look like your pad's being remotely accessed.
Okay.
And then Spirit would be for acting, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I need to realize that someone has bugged Izzy's pad, and now that we have gone to a place, brought it in proximity so that it can do whatever it's doing and start downloading whatever it's downloading. I will rip it away from her hands, look at her aghast, and then throw it across the room, having duct taped the charge from my other concussive grenade to it.
Okay.
And it will self-destruct, hopefully. So,
But first, I have to plant that.
Wait, what?
Do the bug.
Wait, what happened?
Okay.
Did you just rip? What? Did you strap a grenade to an iPad and then blow it up?
concussive grenade, but yeah. Basically.
Okay. I will
So
take.
I first.
So the decoy is automatic because it's the
Yes.
Destiny
Yep.
decoy. So what do you want to see from me?
So the decoy is intended to make it look like someone is hacking into Izzy's database.
Basically,
My-
using
my pad,
Izzy's pad as a relay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, then I just need a spirit test from you to give me a convincing display.
I'm gonna spend some heroism on this. And did you say that this is an attempt to? Oh, I took that. Yeah, that one face one that was like add boldness to attempts to like convince and persuade and stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Nick, can I support it because I'm surprised that someone's blowing up my iPad?
Sure.
Cool.
Well, hang on. What's your spirit, Izzy?
My spirit?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, you can support it. That's fine.
Okay.
So what that looks like is Izzy, you have to spend a heroism, and then Buffy rolls an additional die and keeps 3 of the dice instead of 2.
Okay.
All right, so I'm
Done.
on 5 and doing supported. Declaring a supported roll added the die like in the macro.
It should keep 3 instead of keep 2.
Okay, so I'll do 5, add the boldness, and supported spirit. Hell
Oh
yeah.
Jesus.
There we go.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. That seems all right. We're
So-
actually hired by a roving theater troupe.
Yes, let's do that again.
This isn't the Lord of the Rings campaign.
What the shit?
So, okay, so Buffy freaks out, grabs grabs Izzy's datapad. I'm pretty sure Izzy gives a convincing display as well of like, oh no, what's going on? And then
Oh no!
Buffy,
There's something happening.
Oh no!
You
Get
can't
it
handle
from
the
my
truth.
Buffy hurls it against the wall, and the few other people, like the few other like pilots or whoever that are in there, are all like, oh, "What's going on?" And the other person behind the desk, a little further away, is like freaking out, like, "Oh, what?" Like they're all caught up in it, and then this thing blows up with this blast, this bright blast, and everyone is the people that are closest to it are like, "Oh god!" And they like fall on the ground and cover their heads and everything, and okay, so that happened. What are you doing in response to that?
That happened.
I get it, pretty shaken. Hopefully the guy came back. Like,
Yeah, I think once like you started screaming and other people were reacting, he would have popped back out. Yeah.
is he saying anything? Something just blew up in his like lobby.
I mean, he's like, what's going on? What happened? What was there? Was that one of your data pads?
Were you being
It's
remotely
a
accessed?
Samsung.
Was I?
107.
It was my Galaxy G8.
He's like, yeah, yes. It appeared that way.
I think someone tried to, someone was trying to bug us.
And he's like, what? He's like, wow, oh my god. He's like, I've never. Oh, okay. All right. Remember your training. Okay.
This guy.
He points at the the black mark against the wall. He's like, that was your device, and you think they were using that?
Correct.
Okay.
Seems that way.
Okay.
They must have expected to try and figure something out here.
All right. Okay, everyone stay calm. And he looks at the guy next to him. He's like, stay calm. I'm going to go get security, and they're going to collect your device parts. He's like, okay.
So how much of it blew up?
It's like there's probably half of it is intact, and then the other half of it broke
Jesus
into like
Christ.
3 or 4 parts.
Half of it survived a grenade. What the fuck?
Just a concussive thing. Yeah. Sure, yeah, but I don't think it's safe for my crew to stay on the station anymore.
And he's like, well, no, that's probably true. Okay, you need to protect your crew. You do what you need to do. I'll grab this, and we will. Okay, I'm just gonna go get security, and then he just turns around and leaves.
I wonder if we could have asked him, like, what would someone be trying to find out? This guy seems rookie enough to say something.
We already have everything we wanted to know.
I know, but what if we found out something juicy?
Do you want me to go get you another pad and I'll get another grenade?
No, but you owe me another iPad.
Yeah.
And can I get, like, a newer version?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way,
Is it sure she has her own money?
Let's just get out of here.
Okay.
It was my plan, so that was my advance.
Okay.
oh, and by the way, Captain, there is someone on our ship.
What, another? Wait.
The one you already know about, but
yeah,
I'm
and
reminding
just
you
kinda,
that that
roll
person
my
was
eyes,
there.
like with my entire body.
Roll your eyes from the waist up. Just.
Oh my god. Let's get out
I'm
of
sure
here.
it's under control.
Okay.
Ollie's there. Kevin.
So we're gonna transition back to Ollie and Kevin with that segue.
Alaria, did you
You're
leave something
welcome.
on the ship?
You already told him that you made that joke.
Yeah, but now I'm actually want him to respond.
He wants the response.
Is this like over the comms?
Yeah.
Yeah, I left a bunch of stuff on the ship.
Is it a person dragging a bag of robot arms?
Oh my god, I don't even know anyone on the station. He like immediately thinks it's an ex-lover.
I never said that. Why are you being so
but just
defensive?
Alaria thinks that.
Oh, right. Okay.
So she's like, I don't even know anyone on this station. Okay, you're not pinning this one on me.
And then So
Okay.
what are you doing here?
Ollie's gonna put away his weapon, feeling like this person is probably not a threat. What's your name?
She's got a bag of robot arms. If she hits you with that,
I'm very spry. I can
Who
dodge
throws a
away
shoe?
with bag of robot arms.
Honestly.
Kevin, do you say that out loud? She has a bag of robot arms.
yeah.
Okay. She's like, it's not. There's not robot arms. She's like, it's a robot or what's left of one. She's like, my name's Amira. Amira Bolter.
So who's hunting you exactly? You said someone's after you?
She's like, I was. Yeah, she's like, there's a group of thugs that are. She's like, they're going around. They know I escaped. They followed me here, and now they're looking for me. She's like, so if you guys are leaving the station, she's like, I'd appreciate if we could do that relatively quickly. She's like, I don't have money on me, but I'll pay you when I get some. She's like, please.
These people are on the station now?
She's like, I saw them arrive. I recognized the skiff that they used, and she's like, I know they followed me here. I just know it.
What's the skiff?
She's like, I don't know the name of that, but she's like, they come from there's a larger ship that they're a part of. She's like, it's called the Emerald Tension.
Oh my
Oh
god.
shit. Dum, dum,
And
dum.
why are these people after you? I assume they had something to do with that bag you're dragging around.
She's like, well, she points at the bag. She's like, that's one of their crew members, formerly.
Oh my.
She's like, but he was a good one. He helped me escape, helped a bunch of us escape. Unfortunately, this is all that's left of him. She's like, we can talk about all this when we're in space. She's like, can we please just go?
We're not leaving because the rest of our crew is on shore leave. So
Yeah, we're waiting for the rest of our crew.
Okay.
The crew is not just me and that one. I probably would have blown my brains out already.
I like to cock my head and eyebrow at that one.
Ollie, that was great.
She's like, okay. She's like, is
Is all this happening over the intercom or anything? Like,
Yeah, I keep my comms open.
okay.
she's like, she's like, did you just like, can we call them back? Is there anything? She's like, can you at least hide me here? Can you?
We haven't even agreed to take you.
I know. She's like, but you
on our way.
she's like,
says
even,
Izzy.
she's like, just let me stay on the ship for just like a few hours, just until I know they're gone.
What were you doing on the Emerald Tension?
Kevin, just say yes.
I eject Izzy from the call.
I get back on.
I've seen you code. There's no way you get back on this call.
I mean, I spend heroism and destiny and whatever to make another decoy myself.
Takes us down to 0.
I want to be on this call. I was kidding, Nick. I don't do that.
I know.
I know.
I know.
She's like I was captured. There was a bunch of us that were captured. She's like I was on it. I don't even know how long I was on the ship for. But then, yeah, I was able to talk to one of the crew and this bot here, and I think I got him to see things my way, and he got us off. She's like, please. She's like, just all I'm asking is you just to put me in a room by myself somewhere on this ship, and then if they come looking for me, just don't give me up.
Well, we kind of need the
Right,
captain
so
to
just-
get here
just
to make
to-
a decision.
Just to recap, character recap. The Emerald Tension is the ship that attacked us before, right? That's why the captain is dead.
No.
No.
The Emerald Tension is the ship
The old
that...
captain. The captain is very much alive, thank you.
I said out of character.
The Emerald Tension is the ship that you've connected to slaving activity around Kalis.
Yeah.
And that was connected to the Kalusian power armor that was stolen in our first session, and then scrapped for parts and everything like that. You know the Emerald Tension is connected to that. But the pirates, quote-unquote, that attacked you guys in the preamble, like the before game stuff, different ship, unrelated. That was just,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Didn't you just mention this Emerald Tension in Dave's call to whoever tonight?
I did.
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Now, why might he have done that? Can anyone think of a reason?
It's like the Netflix recap.
That's brilliant, Nick.
Fucking Christ.
All right.
At what point in this conversation did we arrive back from Transit Authority?
I would
You
say
guys are
pretty quickly.
resolved it.
If you guys all started coming back as soon as Ollie said that there was someone on the ship, or shortly thereafter, you guys would arrive probably at about this time, because they've been talking for a little bit.
Sure.
How long is it going to take me to re-download all the Simraka stuff onto my new iPad?
It's gonna take you a little bit of time, because you probably had a lot of it. You probably had like your full
Like the
discography.
full-
So
Yeah.
Can you make a
And
mind
a shit
test?
ton of bootlegs and
Would you have to do a mind
Yeah.
test?
you wouldn't have to do a mind test, no.
Nick, would you have to do a mind test?
You just want to swap it with a 10.
I do.
So I hear when she says, I need to get away from Emerald Tension.
Yeah.
Okay. I just look her up and down, see the bag of robot arms, and can you fix robots?
She's like, can I? No.
What
She's
did
like,
you do on the ship?
She's like, I stayed in my cell. She's like, I'm a pilot. She's like, I'm not a mechanic. I can't do anything.
She's a pilot. Side-eye Ollie.
Are we all back on the ship, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. Let's just get out of here. We're gonna burn for Zemer.
She's like, so, okay, all right. She's like, so I can stay. So you're taking me?
Yeah.
We haven't kicked you out yet.
She's like, yeah,
That
I'm
happens
thankful.
Afterwards. Space.
She gets this
Wait, don't we
ghostly
have
look
to-
on her face, like, oh.
Don't we have to load a whole bunch of livestock first?
If you're
Oh,
taking
yeah.
that job.
How long does that take?
Fine.
We took the job, didn't we? I thought you
Didn't you
said
say we
to
took
take
the
it.
job,
Yeah,
Captain?
job.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Want to attract attention.
So she is
Aaron
going.
Cryo.
She is going to. Unless there's a specific spot you want to send her, she's going to find a space of her own to hole up in.
Why don't you hide in my room?
Oh my god!
It's well hidden.
No, it isn't!
Shut up.
We're like all
Everyone
standing
on the
around.
station has seen it.
Kevin.
Wait a minute. Amira, find a place to hide without telling any of us, and that way no one will know where you are, so we can't
That's
say
the.
anything.
Don't ever listen to her. First rule of the ship is do not listen to the cat. If it's got a cat face, you do not listen to it. That is the first rule of the ship.
We have a cryopod down on the bottom deck.
She's like, you're not going to activate it, are you?
Why would that? Just go.
Okay. She's like, okay. And she hoists the bag of robotic parts up and carries that off.
It's
down
the worst visit to Build-A-Bear ever.
Captain, do you want me to go with her or no?
No! Wait. Sorry.
You're not the
I mean, if she sabotages the engines, then we're stuck here, in which case she can't escape from the slavers, so I don't really
Sure.
think that she's going to get up to anything.
Okay.
Let's just get the livestock on, the cargo, and get out of here as quick as possible.
Okay. So, eventually, someone shows up with a
Box of tribbles.
yeah, no, not tribbles, no, with a basically like a flat or a large like hover pallet essentially full of these cargo cryo containers that are probably about half the size of the one that you have already. And they, you guys take care of the paperwork and all that, and or the digital paperwork, and they start loading it on there. Who is anyone overseeing the process of loading the cargo? Is anyone like down in the cargo bay? Okay, all right. So Kevin, as they're bringing it all in through the port airlock, and then you're kind of directing them as to where to put it, you see a group of individuals kind of walking up and down the docks, and they are
Wait, do we put the stowaway in the exact same room where all the livestock's coming?
Yes.
Oh.
You make it sound like you think that's a bad idea.
Yep.
The livestock is cryoed. It's not like we just stuck her in a manger. Alright, like...
No, I'm thinking of these other people walking up right now.
They're not
Nice
walking
crew.
up. They're walking up the dock. They're not walking up the ship.
So-
Up the ship.
So, Kevin, you see them. They go to the vessel that's docked near you. Like, they go walking up the pier to it. And there's 5 of them. They definitely look like they're dressed for trouble. They're wearing armor and carrying weapons. And one of them, the lead one, is a big, bulky Pelorian, so a big lizard man. And he's shouting up to the people on that ship on deck, and they're kind of shouting back and forth. And then after a moment, three of the people that are with him go onto that ship. And the people that are on the ship are like shouting in protest, but they're being held back. And the 3 people go in, and they're kind of moving around. Kevin, what do you do?
I will comms the dock security that there is somebody attempting to hijack a ship.
Okay. And then you get a response like, okay, we'll send someone out.
You want to send more than one? There's 5. They're heavily armored.
And then they're like, oh, so yeah. So in a few moments, you see the 3 people that kind of went aboard the ship emerge, and they come back out, and there's still like they're all kind of shouting and everything, and weapons haven't been drawn yet, but there's definitely an aggressive tone coming from these 5. And then a group of 4 security individuals or security officers come out, and you see that they kind of intercept. And this whole time, like, the guy who's bringing on the livestock, he'll stop and he'll watch, and he'll be like, oh, look at that. He's like, you don't see stuff like that every day.
I like LA. I don't let him stop. I want him to load up quickly.
He's like, oh, sorry. And he starts bringing one in. And then he's like, oh, look, security's out too. He's like, oh, man, that's just, wow.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Don't you have more loading to do?
I'm sorry. Yes, of course. Yeah, let's get these on there. And he starts pulling them back in. And he's like, you sure you want this one over here? This one's been rattling a little bit. Should I put it over by the wall so it's secure?
Is it your first day? Do I need to get a new person to load the ship?
He's like, sorry, I guess I'll just leave it here. That's fine. It's just rattling. I'm not going to worry about the rattle. It's your problem now. All right. He goes walking back out there, and he grabs a couple more.
It's just like, what a jerk.
What an asshole!
And then, and so he brings.
This is our everyday, man. This is our everyday.
And then he grabs the last one. He's like, okay. He's like, here's the last 2 of them. He's like, all right, I'll put these in there. And then he stops, and he kind of like hoists his belt up and stands in front of Kevin. He's like, well, they're all on board.
I look at him up and down.
You gonna tip him?
I'll tip him out of the ship if he doesn't fire me the fuck up.
And he keeps just staring at Kevin. And then eventually he's like, usually there's some sort of compensation
Yeah.
for doing the work. And
I only compensate people who do their work quietly and efficiently.
whoa,
You, sir, failed.
it's like, well, fine. He's like, don't expect me to load this ship. What is this? What's the name of this ship? Is this the?
It's the get off my ship.
Oh, fine.
Is what
All
it's
right.
called.
All right. Point taken. And he turns around, and he's walking off, and you can see that the 5 individual, like they're engaged, like socially with the security officers, and they've been stopped, like not quite at your pier, but pretty close. And he just walks off, and he's like, I've never dealt with someone so angry like that. He's like, but he's off the ship now, and the other individuals are not anywhere near. Well, they're halfway between your ship and the other one, but they've been stopped by security. So,
Okay, so I signal to Buffy that we're ready to leave, and all cargo stowed.
Okay. I finish up the paperwork that I've been doing up on like the top, or I guess at the bridge. Rather do that kind of thing. Have I seen any of the commotion down on the docks?
yeah, you could see it because you're right by, like, you're able to look down to the docks, so you'd see the individuals, and then you'd see the security officers come in and usher them away, despite their shouts of protest and potentially even some threats.
All right, I tell the harbor master that we're, decoupling and taking off.
Okay. You get an all clear from the harbor master, and you guys are good to go.
We leave.
All right, let's go back. To
Bye.
the galaxy now. All right. So
So we're entering the stream bound for Zerzura. And
for
then,
Zemer,
Zemer, rather.
I was going to say, what? Wait, what?
But yeah,
didn't actually blow up.
Yeah. And we're going to do that thing from the book where you breach out and then breach back in the other direction.
Ooh.
And we are heading
Wait,
to Idris.
What? What are we doing?
Are you making Ian do like a really difficult check? Is that what
Oh,
is
yeah.
happening?
Define really difficult.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Is this where I get to goose the engines?
I think so. I'm sure it can't hurt.
So, Ian, you being the experienced pilot, Buffy is telling you that she wants you to do a hard breach out of the stream and then hard breach back in, which you know can potentially be pretty damaging to the ship, and put a strain on the systems. So, just to
Is
make
this
sure that
time-
everyone, like, you would be aware, you would know what that means when she tells you to do that. So,
Nick, would this be time for a little let me try something?
if that's what you, read that to me for me. Let me see
Well,
what that does.
what it says on my sheet is by diverting a little power from unnecessary systems to the engines, you can get even more mileage out of any ship. Even if they're not quite built for what you're doing.
I would say that you could use that, yeah.
Oh boy.
So if Ollie wants to do this, that's going to be a piloting check.
Yep.
And
So
with,
when a character's rolling an agility test to pilot a ship for which you have expertise, which I do, you may grant that ally 2 additional dice for their test.
nice.
Oh, okay, and I assume my ace takes effect, which is.
Oh, but
man-
don't glitch, Ian, because then the ship blows up.
I'm
so when
sorry.
when maneuvering spacecraft for which I have expertise, I gain a modifier equal to my boldness value.
Yes, this would count. So you're going to be rolling
Okay.
2 additional dice because of Izzy. You're going to be adding your boldness. And if any one of those dice rolls a 1, then that triggers a negative effect from Izzy's trait.
So can I encourage him just for an extra die?
Yeah, I would say so. You'd
Yeah, I
support
mean
him?
just like a heroism support,
Mhm.
basically. Well, it's not a supported roll. It's just a heroism to add to the die pool. Okay.
Nick, is this a bad time to also say it says if the subsequent test glitches 2+?
Okay, so if 2 or more dice roll a 1,
Oh.
that's important.
That's what that means? Okay.
Yep. If it says
I mean,
glitch, that means 1 die.
Okay.
He said immediately.
Okay, so I have 2 dice plus 2 from Izzy plus 1 from Buffy for 5 total,
That sounds right.
and then a mod of I forgot.
This
what
is
I
just
was
making it
gonna
more
say.
chance of glitching. This feels like a terrible idea.
And a mod of your boldness, which I think is 4.
4. Okay. All right. See what happens.
Woo!
Yeah, the more dice I'm rolling, increasing the.
Yeah, of getting a double
Well,
glitch.
or is it the dice that you use have to glitch?
Yeah. Is it
No,
the
it's
dice
any
you use,
dice
or-
in the
Any
pool.
dice, that's how Surge and Glitch works. Any dice in the pool.
Oof.
Yeah.
Are
Who
we
made
sure
this
you
system?
Want me to
Fuck
roll
me.
this match?
Do it.
Do it. Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? That's
It's
right.
a 4-1. This is where Ian rolls Yahtzee. Like 5 1.
Look at that. No
Yeah,
ones.
no ones.
Wow.
Hey there.
20 even. That's a good one. All right.
Vroom vroom, says the ship.
So you're on your way. You're on your way down the Basterkai stream towards Zemer, and you don't get very far out. Probably less than an hour, and then at Buffy's order, Ollie breaches out through the super space wall. So a hard breach out. The ship rocks and creaks. Everyone's thrown about, and then he breaches back in as well.
Can I briefly? Just
Yes, go
very
ahead,
quickly
go ahead.
interrupt? So like I'm down with Amira,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just chatting with her, like trying to keep her calm and whatnot. And I'm like, "Don't worry, it's very safe on this ship." And then
I love it. Okay. Okay, so and then you breach.
Not only that, not only does it go thunk, 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 but you let out the shrillest, loudest shriek.
yeah, just like
Okay, and then you breach back into the Basterkai stream and are now heading in the direction towards Bratirin and Ardax and the core. So, did you make the rest of the crew aware that you were planning to do this?
you certainly
Nope.
didn't make me aware.
I had no idea.
Okay. So I think let's deal with the fallout of that before we get to any further advances.
Well, I had to know, right?
I would imagine that you and Ollie, like, she probably. I'll leave that up to Casey.
No, I did not tell them that we were we were going to take that job as a ruse, and then we're going to go track down, the departed.
Oh. Okay, I thought you meant
deal with
Nick that he was.
Primacore.
What,
He told us
what are
we
we
were
doing?
that we were doing the maneuver.
Oh, he probably, like, when he said that, like, then Ollie was probably like, okay, here we go, and then got on the comms and told Izzy where to go and everything, yeah.
Right.
But as far as, like, that was the plan at the outset, I think Buffy kept that to herself.
Yeah.
Good work, Buffy.
We'll see.
Was it? Are
Because
you?
we're pirates now, right?
No.
What is happening?
All right, so I'm going to move us...
We have to go deal with that, the investigation.
I just look at
Primacore's up
Lara
to
and
some
go.
shady shit.
I just look at Lara and go. You signed. You accepted that job in your name, right?
That's exactly what we wanted. We want them to think that we are heading for Zemer.
Yep. But when this cargo doesn't get there,
That's their problem.
I mean, at least Lara's problem.
Oh my God! What have you done? What have you
Look
done
at-
to me?
Guys, we have so
You-
much food.
You'll never be a homeowner.
Did we get an advance on this?
no.
I'll never be a homeowner.
Yeah,
Like,
she's just
How long?
fucked your,
How long have you known me?
fucked your credit score. A ship can be a home. Shut your fucking face, man.
Wow.
Shut your whore mouth.
So, like, what are
Casey,
these things that we're carrying?
You just started something.
Um,
All right.
they are, let me...
It's the
look that
crabs
up.
from Zerzura Station.
Yeah.
Surprise!
No,
Bu-
not again.
bu- These are... Ooh. Ooh. They are phase hounds.
Fuck no.
Where are we seeing these things?
They're in
They-
stasis. I'll add
yeah.
a bunch of cryopods here to
Yeah.
the map
Okay.
because that may be relevant.
Did we still have that whistle? They come from that planet, right? That we were on.
They're from you dealt with some of them on Zemer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If there's any further discussion about this or like roleplay about that, feel free to have it out while I'm adding these. Otherwise,
Have it out.
I mean, what's the actual story of the contract? I guess I just told Ilari to accept the Zemer one,
mhm.
but who's it with and who's paying it? Stuff.
It is with a Zemurian. The person that is paying is a Zemurian by the name of Hevraz. I was gonna say Hervaz, but no, Hevraz. And you know that he is stationed in the main Zemurian spaceport city that you guys visited when you were there last. I don't have that name in front of me right now. I'm going to finish getting these cryopods in there.
It's
all right.
not
We're
that
not
guy
going
that we
back to
bought the
that
permit
planet,
from,
so-
is it?
It's not the guy you bought the permit from, no. He works for the transit
Aw.
office. But you could definitely interact. Well, I mean, now you're going the opposite direction, so probably not.
Yeah.
But
No. Why are we going the opposite way again?
Because we need to go beat the investigation by Primacore and show that they're up to shady shit.
Yeah, they hacked my iPad.
Yeah,
I'm
they tried
sorry.
to assassinate
What?
us.
What?
Yeah,
Excuse me?
they blew up my iPad. Well, Casey
Wait.
blew up my iPad because they hacked it.
What-
Buffy, I mean.
I'm sorry. What?
I'm very confused.
Well, these animals are
Wait,
going to be on a ship
wait,
for a
I'm
while.
sorry.
Did you bring us back to the ship map for a reason?
well, I assume that you guys were because you're going to be in transit for a little bit.
Nick, if that guy stacked these cryopods like that and expected a tip, I'm going to be very annoyed.
Oh,
I
he
don't know
totally
that he
did.
actually expected a tip.
I think he hoped for a tip. I don't think he expected one. There you go.
The tip of my fucking boot.
Okay. So, all right. Well, you guys are going to be in transit for...
Sounds like close quarters.
I think so.
Dude,
Oh,
that's
boy.
how I pack. That's
My
terrible.
favorite. That's how I pack. That's terrible.
Going to Idris. Ooh, that's a long time.
Oh boy.
Are we even going to be able to catch them? What is the plan?
So the trip from Lareth to Idris without any further complication is going to take you 168 hours.
What was that?
Did you say 206 years?
170
Yeah.
hours, I think.
Yep.
Yep,
I
168
heard
hours.
206 years.
206 years, no. So it's going to take you a full week.
They have just over a day on us.
Yep.
Whatever. So, not too worried about it. We head right there.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's get some close quarters rolls from everybody.
Yay.
I love these. What? Are
Yeah,
these
what was that
No,
for?
what do these happen in journal, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Wait, I thought they were D6s. What? Oh.
you're 8s now.
We're 8s
Right.
now.
Okay, so those are D8s as well. Okay.
Tasty.
Oh no, I hang out with Kevin again.
That is everybody. Okay. So we start from the highest. So we have 3 8s. Okay, so it's Kevin, Ollie, and Izzy are in one scene, and
And is
Alaria.
it positive?
It's positive.
Yes, has to be.
Okay. It has to be. Why does it have to be? I forget.
Because you rolled a good number.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
Wait, what's a
it's
bad
something
number?
It's something to advance the relationship.
Mhm.
If they were low, if they were ones, I guess it deteriorates. Is that?
that how it works?
Ones deteriorate, twos deteriorate, but you can't get lower. Oh, let me just open it up. I was going from memory, and then I realized I forgot where the cutoffs were.
Because it looks like Buffy and Ilaria are going to have a moment.
I think they're gonna have a negative one. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Okay. No matches are -1 relationship point. Ones or twos are -1, but it can't go lower than 1. 3, 4, 5s are +1, but it can't go higher than 3, and 6s or higher are +1.
That's easy to remember.
Can I use an estimate to get +10?
No, no. So yeah, Ilaria and Buffy have a negative.
All right. So Kevin, we're back on 1 strength.
I airlock myself.
You must be delighted.
I can't stand this. Between this and the way the cargo is stacked, I'm done. Oh God, it's me versus the cat people. This is just mean.
You with the captain? What versus? What?
With Dave. With.
Oh yeah, I put Ilaria instead of Ollie. That should be Kevin plus Ollie.
I think they should be instinctively afraid of all of the phase hounds that are in the cargo. And then Kevin tries to assume responsibility and, alleviate their
They
fear.
just keep sending
Just
them down there to check the cargo and
Grab
laughing
them
at the
behind
video.
ear, let them know that everything's okay.
No! What?
Can you please?
Completely out of character.
Well, first off, Kevin, I would like to thank you for letting Amira stay on board and not making a big deal of it.
I mean, it's still a big
like
deal.
the last person that we had on board who was harmless that you wanted to kill and torture. So
I
that's
didn't
all I'm
wanna
saying.
kill- What? Wait, what happened to positive? What?
No,
I
I'm just
think
saying we
sincerely thanking you,
disagreed.
I
We
think.
disagreed the last time we had a guest, and this time we have a guest, and you treated her nicely, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
This one wasn't a mutineer. What's your point?
But you were nicer. That's all. And can you watch these dogs?
No, that's your job. Ollie, you want to get on this?
Ollie bursts in at that moment. Who the No one told me they were dogs.
It's okay. Kevin's watching them for us.
Can I open all of the cryopods? Because I really just want to do a who let the dogs out joke.
Oh jeez.
That would be Ilaria. It was Ilaria's. Well, I think Buffy told her to take the job, but I don't think we knew it was dogs before.
Are dogs livestock?
I didn't
To
think so.
whoever
If so,
set up this
if
job.
so, I like it.
What do you mean? No, they're used on the gladiatorial fights on Zemo, right? That's their only use on Zemo.
Well, the only use that you encountered, yeah.
Wait, these are fighting dogs?
Yeah.
Kevin, how good are the locks on these things?
Let's go check.
Oh, go ahead. I'll wait.
I just keep every time I walk past like Izzy while she's like working, I'm just like ruh, 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 ruh.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
All right, well, that was delightfully positive.
Okay,
Moving
yeah,
on.
that's all right.
Yeah.
Ilaria and Buffy.
Okay, so we have kind of discussed something.
Yeah, we're hashing it out.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I would probably be like up in the bridge or something, and just.
So this will happen pretty soon after the breach.
Yeah.
And Ilaria will just kind of like, not like angrily, but definitely like with energy, will like huff into the room and be like, "What the hell was that, Buffy?
You have to be more specific.
You made me accept a job that sounded really fucking boring, and then you like double breached us. I don't know how to pilot stuff, so I'm just gonna say words, but like we're not even going in the right direction.
Well, then why do you care if we're not even doing the job?
Cause you didn't even like tell us.
I'm sorry.
Like, we had a
I-
whole bunch of different jobs that we could have done, and you just, like, picked one, but we're not even doing it.
Yeah, we need to make sure that, Primal Core answers for what they're responsible for.
I mean, I agree, and if you had asked us, I would have agreed with you.
I thought that the more people that knew about the plan, the less likely it would be to succeed. And not because of your qualities
Because you're a
or lack thereof as, a crew. Because I don't
Mhm.
think that I don't know. I mean, like, you're impulsive all the time. How do you explain some of that stuff? Right? and then I immediately eat my words.
Just swung that judgmental pendulum right back at Alaria.
I'm impulsive all the time, am I?
No, not
Okay.
like...
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens on the next job, I guess. Who knows? I could just do anything. And then she just storms off.
Oh no! Oh, that was so good.
Nice.
Fuck
so-
me. What have we done?
It was the dice.
Mhm.
The dice did this to us.
So we're gonna award a
That's okay.
total of 3 experience so far for the events that have happened thus far tonight. I don't know what your new totals are.
69.
9.
Oh!
Let's not earn any more experience.
For the rest of the
This is
campaign.
where it ends.
We're adults.
Okay.
Ostensibly,
Ostensibly.
So
Nominally adults.
at some point during the trip, Amira is going to basically find whoever she can that's willing to talk to her.
Mhm.
Let's see here.
I am a post-slave.
I'm
You are.
always willing to talk to people.
You are.
Yep.
We have 5 PCs with us now,
Mhm.
right? So I'm gonna roll a d6, and we're
What
just
could possibly go wrong with this?
gonna go down the line.
It's gonna be a 6, and it's gonna be Oppenheimer.
So Alaria, Buffy, Izzy, Kevin, Ollie, in that order. And since Alaria is the social butterfly, no, I don't want to do that. I'll just reroll a 6.
Yeah, just roll.
So it could be all of us, or is she targeting one person?
It's just whoever she comes across
Whoever
first,
she bumps
essentially.
into first, which
Mhm.
is why it's a
Okay.
die roll.
Totally random. All right.
Yep. 4 is 1, 2, 3. Kevin! Yay!
Oh! I told you. I warned you.
I feel so sorry for her.
Remember, I just said thank you for treating her nicely
So
before you
Kevin,
shoot her.
she's probably gonna come across you in one of the common areas. So
Slam cut to, like, Amira floating through the void.
So either like in that lounge area down on the bottom deck, or up in the crew commons up on the mid deck. But
I'm trying to organize this goddamn cargo hold.
oh, perfect. Okay. So she is going to come back in, and her. Actually, no. Before she does, her bag of, as you're moving cryopods and trying to get them organized, you end up tripping over her bag of robot parts.
Okay.
And
Oh my god, he's gonna kill her.
you trip over her bag of robot parts as she's coming back in, and she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. She's like, just please, just be careful. I'll move them, but just please try and be careful with these.
Why are you carrying him around?
And she's like, she kind of stops for a minute, and she's like, well, he was the only one that helped me, and he's the only thing that I had any positive discourse with in the last however many weeks. She's like, I kind of want to get him repaired if I can.
Right, so what do we know about, like, does it look like this is an Aya, or is this a robot? What is this in the bag?
Well, it's
What's in the box?
it looks like an IRE, but like you don't. The thing is, you don't have a way to tell like its level of quote unquote sentience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's inactive. So it definitely looks like it's a bot that was made for like space travel, like it serves a role on a ship. It doesn't look like it's just a regular labor bot or something like that. But
Sure.
beyond that, you don't really. Unless, do you have expertise in robotics?
I do not.
Okay, then yeah, then you're not really sure other than that. But yeah, she's like, I'd just like to get him repaired if I can.
And where are you going to do that?
She's like, I don't know. She's like, I obviously didn't have much of a plan up to this point.
Clearly.
She's like, look, I know you don't like me, and I'm sorry that I'm here for doing this to you and your crew. She's like, but the next place that we get, that's a stop. She's like, as long as the Emerald Tension isn't anywhere behind us, you can just drop me. That's fine.
Where did you come from? How did they catch you? What were they?
She's like, I was working. I worked on a survey colony on the moon of my planet, and they showed up, and they seemed to my planet particularly was having issues with raiders like this. It seemed like they were experienced. They knew when to hit. They knew when security was light. And they got me and about a dozen of us total. And she's
Is
like,
she Callisian?
She looks human. And at one point when she lifts up the bag of robot parts, you see that she has scarring up by her temple, and that would imply that she had a cybernetic implant of some sort that has since been ripped out. But that's about the most that you can tell.
Which planet were you on?
She's like, I'm sorry, I don't know you, and I don't know your crew, and for all I know, there could be a connection between you and the Tension. She's like, I can't.
There's no connection between us and the Tension. They stole some tech from my employer, and we recovered it, so we're as much in opposition as we can. There's no such thing as a mind meld, Casey.
Roll me a spirit test, Kevin. Do you want to spend a destiny?
No.
Okay. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I'll stay out of your way. I'll stay out of sight, out of mind. And she's like, as long as you don't mind me using the refresher every so often and having some food, you won't even know I'm here.
What's the implant? Did they do that?
And she stops. She's like, they put it in, and she looks down at the bag. And she's like, and he took it out. She's like, I see that. She points at your arm. She's like, have you always had that?
What?
No.
She's like, did you choose to get it? Or is that because you lost it?
It's a product of necessity.
She nods. She's like, okay. She's like, I'm sorry I've asked.
Okay. No, you take free reign of the lounge area. There should be a quarters opposite. But maybe stow the IRE somewhere out of the... Not in here.
She nods. And she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, if I can bother you once more. She's like, I just noticed that a couple of members of your crew look like they know their way around stuff like this. She's like, would it be too much trouble to ask them to just at least take a look?
I think if you're going to ask Izzy to try and repair your friend, I think you probably would do, would probably find someone more specialized if you want to treat your friend right. Izzy's got a tendency to blow things up.
Hurtful. I only detonate things on purpose.
She nods. She's like, okay. She's like, that's all right. She's like, we'll do. She's like, just okay. Just let me know when we're getting near a stop. And she's like, and like I said, I'll stay out of sight, out of mind.
I've blown like 3 things up.
Out of 3 sessions, that's pretty bad going.
Some of those were on purpose, though.
I think I've blown up more. Thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Can I get on the long comms? I want to check back in and find out if Mira Bolton is one of the people that were taken from.
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna get back on the long comms and you get back in contact with Ashton.
I'm going to do it by. I'm not going to because like the comms is. Oh no, comms is the long comms in the front of it.
Yep.
I'm going to be discreet though. I'm going to do it like in text, not in chat, Kathy.
Oh, sure.
Encrypt that shit.
Ashton says that that yes, Amira Bolter was one of the people that they have lost recently.
Holy shit. Okay, so I want her file. Yeah, I want her file.
Okay.
All of it.
So he will send you her what they have on her.
And then when I get it, I will take it to Buffy.
Okay. Are you gonna look at it first, or are you gonna bring it right to Buffy?
I'll check it first.
Okay.
I don't like to be surprised.
It corroborates her story. She worked as part of a survey crew on one of the moons of Kalis, she was reported missing following a raider attack from the Emerald Tension. That would have been about 4 weeks ago.
And she said there were more people. It wasn't just her, right? They took a load. A bunch.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh fuck!
And that's corroborated by that as well. Like that.
Yeah.
It all checks.
Mm-hmm. What about the Aya?
No information on that.
Can I get like the computer or something to do a search? I want to know like more about the Aya and how they like is that guy basically dead, or is there like form for Ayas that are turned into luggage being turned back into Ayas?
It's not common, but yeah, you're able to find that as long as basically the CPU more or less is intact, and there hasn't been any like malicious hardware, or I'm sorry, malicious software installed, that it is possible to basically reinstall them either into a new body or to rebuild the old body, as long as that CPU is intact. So
then I take all this above me.
Okay.
Yes.
So the stowaway is
Witch.
a clairvoyant witch. Sorry, yes, I forget. We should rename it the Guilty Stowaway. Amira is a collegian clairvoyant, and the whole reason I'm out here is because slavers are abducting clairvoyants to use them and sell them on the black market for their abilities. And she says, and it has been corroborated by back home, is that a bunch of them were taken by the Emerald.
All right.
And that's the whole reason I'm out here.
That's
And-
the only reason you're out here?
It's the whole reason I'm out here, especially after meeting you fuckers.
All right. Well, I guess we can drop you guys off. What?
Ugly.
What does that even mean?
What?
Kevin?
What do you expect me to do with the information?
I'd like to go after them.
Do you want to go after them together?
It would make
Are
things
you
easier.
asking?
I think you're going after Primacore to frame them for the thing that we actually did, right? You know that we actually blew it up.
No one can prove that, Dave.
They seem to have some confidence of that ability, actually. I need to prove that it was a necessity. If I need to prove it at all. And I'm like, minimizing hollow projections of like the Primacore facilities and stuff.
Windows M. Windows M.
Yeah.
Nick, are the rest of us here at this conversation or no?
Probably not. I would guess no.
Work up on the bridge, like all related to this, and not had any other comms or anything.
Okay.
So yeah, if anyone had a reason to come up and talk to me,
Yeah.
or whatever,
There you go.
make yourself comfortable here.
Right. Okay. So what I'm basically saying is do we
Yeah.
do we need to go after them in order to do that? Surely we could take what we know about the glare and the shell and just make it public. Because that we do have copies of the data that Oppenheimer stored, right? That they didn't. So we've technically had proof.
Yeah. And how do you expect us to get people to believe us?
Well, they say people love a story.
You could hear the confidence in that.
Yeah. Well, I got no idea. I got all the people skills of a breeze block.
Sorry, I'm looking up what type of planet is it. Just
That's
the
cinder
super
block for the
corporate one?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Thank you for adding that, Dave, because I didn't quite know.
Yeah.
I prefer freeze block.
Freeze,
Actually.
not freeze, you dingers.
Idris, human bureaucratic world and the
Bureaucratic
single
world.
leading producer of cutting-edge starship fuel liquid mesorium. Idris is a bustling industrial world, often on the outer edges of the core. Multiple orbital platforms facilitate council ship manufacture, so they're the shipyards.
Yeah. Look, the way I see it, Kevin, Idris sent every single person on Zerzura Station into the absolute unknown and did not care, one whit about anything that happened to them. They've got everything that they've learned, have paid basically no price, and are, however many steps away from pinning their, our cover up on us,
Mm-hmm.
If they get away with, convincing other people that we did something wrong, protecting people from whatever was on that station, then they get off completely scot-free. And they're just going to do it again and again and again. Sending more people to die in the absolute void to learn fuck all and accomplish whatever. Like,
I think they're going to carry on doing that.
this
Any
is
corporation is going to carry on doing that.
This is your story written to an industrial scale.
Right.
You do follow me, right?
Right, but then you understand why I care more about this.
Yeah. I think so.
We do both.
I mean, they're literally in
Well,
opposite directions. Fucking.
Well, I mean, assuming that those were guys either directly from the, Emerald or not, they, when our cargo doesn't show up in Zerzura, they're probably going to figure something out.
Right.
Go get the IRE. Amira's friend.
Do what with it?
Maybe they're tracing it.
Oh.
He belonged to the crew, right?
Maybe I do get to airlock something.
Go tell her that we need to just do a quick autopsy, and that, we'll be respectful.
I'll get Alaria.
Oh, good.
So I'll go down to the medbay to do this.
Okay. Mix in standby mode.
Yeah. I think he's slowly, been turning to face the right direction, one every day or something, but until then...
We just gotta grease him like the Tin
Yeah.
Man in Wizard of Oz.
You see that he's got a leg where his head should be, and his head is on the medical bed, and he's like, "I think I have it figured out, Captain."
Oh dear me, I think I've made things worse.
Someone teach him the poem.
Uh,
Headphones connected.
All right. Okay, so Kevin, what's your plan for collecting the IRE?
I don't know. Alaria.
So you show up at my room.
Mm-hmm.
Alaria's still like.
This is a really
how long
humbling
how long
day
has
for
it been
Kevin,
since
huh?
we-
Yeah, this is super. Yeah, like fucking hell. This is the day I ate crow.
How long has it been since we left? Is this like days later? Or is this
Yeah,
like
it's
the
probably a couple
same
days
day?
later. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, she answers the door. What can I do for you, Kevin?
I need a favor.
Okay. Well, that's
So, yes, it is very new. The Amira's friend that is in the bag was a crew member
Your
of the
friend
ship
is
she
a bunch
escaped.
of body parts?
It's a robot. It's an IRE.
Oh,
Like Mick, only not as evil,
right.
I think. There's a chance the crew might be tracking it, so Buffy wants to check, and I don't know how to get her to surrender the bag. So I thought you could even...
I can try. I'll go down and talk to Amira.
Okay. Kevin, are you going with her?
We'll just chat for a little while and try to get a sense for what her emotional state is at.
Okay.
Um,
So she seems. I don't want to use resigned because I feel like I use that for every NPC you guys come across. But
Ghost robot.
Can't hear.
can't hear me. God damn it.
You went robot.
Why
again.
is it as soon as he says can't
Yeah,
hear me, it's perfect?
As soon as
It's
yeah.
so weird.
Okay, so I'm just
Sorry.
gonna keep Discord
You're fine.
up as my main screen because I think it's when I flip back and forth to the map. I think that's what's
Sure.
doing it.
Oh,
Okay. So so you're Alaria. You're going to meet with Amira to get an idea for how she's feeling, essentially.
Yeah.
She is.
Doesn't Amira know she's coming?
Shut up.
Sorry.
So Alaria. So you knock on the door to the room that Amira is staying in, and she opens the door just enough to, be able to talk to you, but she doesn't open it all the way and everything. And she's like, hi. Is there something? Did I do something wrong?
No, you don't have to hide.
She's like, well,
We're not. You're safe here.
I appreciate that, but I think there are members of your crew that would prefer it to be this way.
Well, they're lame. And you should come out and chat with me in the lounge. And if anyone gives you the side eye, I'll give them a double side eye.
Roll me a spirit test, please.
Okay. And
Not the double side eye.
I'm gonna add a heroism.
Okay.
What?
Oh.
That's not that good.
She's like, I appreciate it. She's like, I do. But I think I just want to be alone for a while.
Can I so she's holding open the door. I want to reach over and just put a hand gently on top of hers. And as I chat with her, and use my empath ability, to kind of sense what her emotions are like right now. So is she scared? Is she concerned? Is she?
Okay. So you do that. I'm not going to call for a test for that because that's something that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know what that is, and then I'm gonna play off of it, and then I get a +2 on my next spirit test.
Gotcha. She's feeling suspicious and protective.
Okay. So I'll be like, look, I know that you've been through a lot, and I know that you're worried about yourself and your companion, but I want you to know that we are going to help you. We are here to help. And I'm just trying to get her guard down, really. So if it's okay, I'm going to make another spirit test.
Yeah, I was just going to call for one, so that works.
Cool. All right. What the? Wow.
Do you want to spend a destiny?
Well, that's 4 dice.
Woo! That's a roll.
That
I
is
don't know,
what-
guys. Do you want to spend a destiny on this?
This has got to be your call, man.
Yeah, I think this is your decision to make.
What the hoo-ha? Let's do it.
Simraka has a song called Destiny, so maybe.
I'll spend a destiny.
Okay, so we're treating that as an 18.
Yeah.
And you guys are at what? 2 and 8 or 1 and 9?
Two
think
and
1 and
8
9
now.
2 and 8.
Right?
2
Oh,
and
1
8.
and 9 now?
Yeah.
Oh, because we did the
Wait,
decoy.
what
Well, after
Yeah.
this,
Yeah,
because
No, but the decoy
we started
doesn't
at
cost.
3
Doesn't
and we spent
cost
1.
Destiny, does it?
The decoy does cost destiny, yep.
Oh god. All right. 1 and
Did
9.
it say that? I thought it didn't say that anymore, but okay. That's fine.
It does
Um,
cost destiny.
Okay.
It doesn't
Um,
cost bots, if that's what you're...
Oh, okay. That's right.
Correct.
Okay.
She's like, okay. She's like, yeah, you know, it would be nice to sit somewhere not in this small little room. She's like, you don't happen to have anything that isn't protein paste, do you?
She'll give a little sly grin and be like, I sneak aboard some stuff every now and then. And I'll just like grab like a bottle of wine that I have from my quarters,
Mm-hmm.
and just a bit of like, I don't know what else
Space
What else
cheese
would
and
spacers-
crackers.
eat.
Fruit is highly sought after in space.
Yeah.
So
So I'll have like an apple and I'll carve it up.
And actually, there's something canonized called Demorian blue apples. So
Oh, there you go.
to play into being a Demorian.
Okay, sure.
All right. She's excited to see that, to see you offer that to her, and she's like, "Wow, thank you." She's like, "This is the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me since, well, I suppose since not kicking me off the ship, but before that, since." Enigma saved me, and she points back at her room, like over her shoulder, because I'm assuming you guys are sitting in that lounge area now. So,
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So Enigma's his name.
she's like, that was what he went by, yeah.
So actually, like this will be like a little while later.
Mhm.
We probably chat for a little while, and she's like, gotten a couple bites of the apple and some wine and whatnot,
Mhm.
and then she'll say, "So my captain wanted to make sure that we aren't being tracked by Enigma. Like it's possible that he had a tracker on him or something. So they just want to take a look at his, what's the word?
Bits.
Yeah, parts, remains. But they're gonna be super respectful, and they're not gonna do anything. They're not gonna damage it or anything. They just want to double check. They just want to scan it. That's that sort of thing.
Smash cut to Buffy in the morgue with a sledgehammer.
With a sledgehammer.
I'll be there, and I'll make sure that they don't do anything to hurt it.
Her eyes kind of go wide, and she's like, I never thought of that. Yeah, okay. Can I be
In
there
fact-
too?
Yeah, I think so. In fact, we might even be able to figure out how to put them back together again if we have Mick take a look at them.
And
I
she's
mean, I mean, Mick is currently on backwards, but it's fine.
He's not gonna be called Enigma after the mix gone through. But you can call him Jenga.
Jenga.
What's Enigma backwards?
She's like, oh, okay, yeah. Where did you want to do this?
I guess down in Mick's workshop would make the most sense.
She's like, okay, I'll get him, and you,
The med
I'll
bay.
just follow you.
All right. And I'll step out of earshot for a second, and I'll radio to the rest of the crew to meet down there.
Okay. All right. So she follows Alaria to the med bay, and she's like, "Oh, workshop. That's interesting."
I've never been down here. Go sue me.
And then she sees, then she sees Mick as the resident physician, and she's like, "Oh," and suddenly it all kind of makes sense to her. Okay, so everybody is gathering in the med bay. I think Casey had to step away for a second. I'm actually going to step away and grab my water bottle, so I'll be back in like a second here, guys.
Great.
1.
Well, okay. Like
Wow,
a minute.
Matt.
I've returned.
Nick just went to get us a drink.
Okay, I'm back.
Wow,
Great.
that really was quick.
Yeah, it was just up the stairs.
Totally longer than a second.
Shut up.
Okay. So she sets the bag of Enigma on the
It's a puzzle box.
the med bay bed, and she kind of like opens the bag up, and she's slowly taking out all of his parts and arranging them out there. And then
What's it called? Nolling, where you lay it all out in like.
Yeah.
And then she's like, she kind of takes a step back. She's like, okay. She's like, there he is.
Izzy goes, I can fix that.
Really? You could?
Can
Well, I
you
can-
don't
Well, I can solder the shit together.
say that.
Izzy, don't bite off more than you can chew.
No, I think I can combine the parts. I mean, it's
He can't get more dead.
yeah, like it's like just putting them together.
Mick is standing in the corner, and he's like, it's not as easy as it looks.
It's not as easy as it looks.
You'll have to excuse my shipmates. They can be a little uncouth.
I wasn't talking about the wiring. I was just talking about the parts.
She's like, oh. She's like, well, I appreciate the offer, but no thanks.
Let's just scan him for a tracker, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take out my scanner and start. I don't know if
Yeah,
that'll help, but
I mean, other than this probably being a mind test, like, what would really help out here?
So, your scanners aren't able to pick up anything like a tracker or anything like that, and it's after using them, you can surmise that it is the casing and the plating of him that is blocking scanners and stuff like that. So,
Wait,
What?
is this a common trait of IREs, or is this like he's stealth shielded?
no, it's not something that you could get like on most labor bots, but any IRE that is working in quote unquote like clandestine fields could get an upgrade like this.
So is he like made out of lead or something?
It's not
Essentially,
Superman. It's not Superman's eyes in your scanner. What the hell, lad?
he basically has like a liner, or there's like an interior panel or, you know, whatever that's outside of his chassis, like it's outside of the, or it's not exposed, but that's blocking scanners from picking anything up as far as hardware.
Right.
So.
Oh boy.
So let's take off a part.
So he is, you have his torso that has the upper half of one leg. All of the limbs are off at various points, and then his head is separated as well.
I'll turn to Amira. You don't have to be in here if you don't want to be in here.
She's like, I appreciate that, but I would rather watch.
Would they put a tracker in his head?
She's like, I don't know where, if they did. She's like, if it wasn't something that he chose to have originally when he signed up with them, then they probably put it somewhere that they could access, so a head would make sense, his head.
So
he
is
was
this guy
crew,
around?
right?
Like,
He was.
This is Josh, right?
Yeah.
Since he's not here, can I, like, examine the head for ways, like, into it?
He's like a different thing.
Yeah,
Who's
he's not.
he?
Mick is not the same race as an Ion.
No, I'm just saying, like, this is the guy who is, like, we brought him down here for, right? Like,
Sure.
okay.
Or, yeah.
But Josh isn't here to play the
Yeah.
guy.
Right.
So I'm just, like, looking around at the head and, like, just thinking if, like, there are panels that can get removed and...
Nothing that's easy
I'm
to
viewing this
remove.
thing as I'm viewing this thing as an engine.
Right.
Or a spaceship.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nothing that's easy to remove. But the easiest way in, based on his current state, would be like to remove his neck, the stump of a neck that's left on his head, and then to go up from there. To actually pull the plating of like his headpiece apart would be considerably harder because it's made to, you know, to withstand and to be solid.
Sure.
So
Can we shove a sensor up his neck?
you could do that.
Wow.
Yep. You could do like a fiber optic type
So,
thing. Like
I mean,
a
he
snake.
doesn't have like the Terminator thing where, you know, you get to a point and it's basically like a USB port, you know, like when they're working on his head and
Not that's easily available. No.
Well, can I examine up the neck and see what I see, Nick?
Nick.
A Nick neck. Yeah.
Well, his head is separate.
Okay.
So if you remove the neck, you can do that, and that's pretty easy work to do that.
I was going to say, can I remove the neck with my knowledge?
Yes. Oh yeah, you
Okay.
can do that.
I thought you were going to say grenade.
For sticky
The only grenades I
situations-
ever have are the ones that, I have to make, or, Buffy gives me. All right. Or Buffy puts on my stuff.
or Buffy. Yeah. Okay, so you remove the neck and you examine the interior of the head. And sure enough, you find a small blinking light that is part of a unit that you recognize as not being a normal addition to an IRE like this.
I say, oh, fuck.
Holy crap! I thought this
And then
was
I throw the head at Buffy.
No!
And we hot potato the thing around.
No.
There's a blinking light in here, guys. Captain, Captain, this.
Do we,
Yeah.
Can I
Suspicion is accurate.
Can I scan that thing to see what it is?
Don't you have a personnel or like a person scanner?
I have a detection scanner.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
I don't.
Same I got. I didn't have medical scanner.
I don't know if a detection scanner would, because that's
Okay.
just to help detect like hidden objects and like invisible
Right.
things, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't signify what it is. But as soon as like Izzy reacts like that and then tosses the head to Buffy, Amira looks
No.
totally distraught. Like,
I was
oh no,
kidding.
oh no.
Nick, I was kidding about the hot potato.
Okay, good, because Buffy wouldn't have caught it anyway.
No.
Oh no.
I'm like, there's definitely something in here. I think the suspicions are correct.
And she's like, oh no. She's like, and she looks at everybody. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I had no idea. There's
It's fine. It's fine.
I'll put a hand on her shoulder and be like, "It's okay. We believe you."
Where's the CPU on one of these things?
In the head.
Also in the head?
Mm-hmm.
So
what does this mean?
your
They're
first
tracking us?
question: when you're in the street in a stream, is it possible to like scan around you for other ships, that kind of thing?
Yeah, you guys can, like, if there are ships in the super space stream, they can see each other and pass each other, and
Are they all presumed?
Okay,
Okay,
as soon
It's
as-
like a physical place.
yeah, it's like an
Yeah.
it's like another like,
And, like,
dimension
People
essentially.
can go. Different ships can go different speeds.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so as soon as I see that, I'm gonna book it to like the cockpit and scan for other ships.
So
'Cause
Ollie,
I'm freaked out.
on your way up to the cockpit, there's you guys feel like the ship rocks, and
Oh,
everyone has
shit.
to brace themselves.
What did you do?
And Ollie, you get up to the yeah. What did you do? Ollie gets up to the helm, and you see there is a blinking light at the helm that shows that you're being hailed. And then, sure enough, if you were to turn and look like physically behind you, you would see another ship approaching from aft. And not only that, but that ship does have the markings of the Emerald Tension.
Captain, our old friends are here. The Emerald Tension. Need you up here now.
Coming.
I
wanna-
booked to the engine room.
I want to like get Amira's attention,
Mhm.
but like calmly, and be like, Amira, what was your? Do you have any specialties that could help us out here? Are you able to fire one of these cannons or turrets or something?
She's like, I've never done that before, but she's like, I am an experienced pilot. She's like, I usually, navigate survey cruisers, but I might
Why
be able to
don't
figure this out.
Why don't you co-pilot for Ollie?
She's like,
And
okay.
I'll turn to Kevin and I'll give him a look like, is that okay? But I won't say anything.
I nod.
Okay.
All right. She's like, okay. So she goes out the door, and then you see that she goes over to the ladder and starts going down, and then she's like, no, up, and then she starts going down.
So, as she walks out, I grab her arm as she walks out, and I say, if you have to do anything, and I just glance at where her implant was. I said, you're safe to do it.
And she just stares at Kevin. She doesn't say anything, but just like eyes locked, not blinking. She just gives a short little nod.
Great. Alara, will you help me load some of the cryopods into the shuttle?
Why? Are we gonna
Because we're gonna-
launch? Are we gonna
we're gonna
launch
del-
phase
we're
hounds
gonna-
at them?
We're gonna deliver them.
That is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Deliver them.
Let's go deliver some phase hounds. Oh, man. We're not getting any more jobs after this.
No, you're not, Alaria.
I accepted that job on behalf of the Guilty Echo.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
What does it take to rename a ship?
I'll suit up into my my new armor.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that is where we're gonna call it for the night, guys.
Okay.
Dude, that's exciting.
Awesome. All right.
Space battle, space.
Exactly. We've only had the one so far, and not ever one against an actual
Can we
ship.
board them
so-
like pirates?
Yes.
Not
Unless-
like pirates.
It's pirate time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give everyone 2 more experience.
Wow.
So you got 5 total for this session.
Sick.
71.
71.
71. 9 more to level 7.
And we're at Destiny 1-9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
You never complicated or rolled for complications, did you?
I rolled
Oh,
You
secret.
did at one point, you rolled a
Oh, okay.
10, I thought.
Everything I rolled, I rolled a 10 the first time, and then a 15, and then a 20. So I was like, all right, that's fine. Like nothing's coming up. So
So Nick, in all my gaming with this thing, I have never seen a complication. What are they meant to do?
so the the time
This
that
never happened. It has never happened.
right, and that's why I think I'm gonna revisit. Well, I am
Why don't you
revisiting
give an
these rules.
example.
You're
But-
the complication
From
that
our
we're
first
still dealing with.
The example.
Thank you, Dave. You're so charming and kind, Stokes.
The best example was they did a job where they had to get sensitive cargo out of a derelict or a crashed vessel.
Okay.
And so then I immediately rolled complication when they found the vessel. And I rolled super under. I rolled a 1 and they had like 7 doom. So that's like the highest complication you can get. And that determined that the wreckage of the ship was broken in half, and the front half of it was teetering over a 300-foot cliff, and the bottom half was smashed at the bottom. So then they had to navigate this ship without getting too much weight on the backside of it so that it would tip over, and they had to find that sort of thing. And then there was
It's
combat
pretty
that
much
ensued.
exactly what it sounds like. It complicates things.
Yeah.
It sure complicated things.
Exactly.
Okay. I see. All right.
I think we've only had a couple of complications trigger. The other
The
two...
only other one that I can remember is the Star Worm.
Yeah.
The Star Worm was
Oh,
okay.
that's
So
right.
the Star Worm was one, and then there were 2 that were triggered. They were starship malfunctions in super space. I think there was like a leak in your breaching drive, and then there was another one that I can't remember what it was. So.
That sounds dirty.
There was one like the dragon had damaged the engine was another, I think.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. So
They
they
pretty much
do.
just robbed us of money each time. Yeah.
All right, but that's where we're gonna call it. So for those of you in watching live, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and we will reconvene in 2 weeks. Yeah, we actually have a decent audience tonight.
That was really exciting.
Yeah, I really like this session. So we'll reconvene on the 29th, and then the last session of the campaign is the very next Sunday,